But go check out that album. It's an absolutely rocking album. If you're first-time conventioners, it'll change your life. So now we're just moving into a nice dulcet tone side of the evening, afternoon. Anyone who's heard this guy sing before will know that this is a really, really good time. Please welcome to the stage, the one, the only, Mr. Jason Mann.
Thank you. Thank you for that wonderful song.
You're killing it, Norton.
How are you guys? Thank you. They come to me at one point every convention and they say, hey, we need a lunch break for the crowd, so you need to go out there and play tunes so people can use the bathroom. And I'm like, okay, cool, because then I get to jam. How many of you are brand new? How many of you just didn't feel like answering the question? Fair. So, if you haven't yet had the chance to lean over to the person to your left or right and go, who's the dude? Who's that big guy up on stage that I don't recognize at all? I will save you the lean and let you know. Just put that anywhere. My name is Jason Manns, and I was lucky enough to have some music on this wonderful show called Supernatural. And they invite me to come play music every once in a while. And if you guys are not in the biz, we call it the biz, those of us that are in the biz, we call it the biz. If you're not in the biz, you might think it's weird for somebody to have 15 to 20 seconds on a show and then play conventions for that show for 15 years. But it's really normal in the biz. You don't see it that often, because you guys probably don't do a lot of other shows, conventions, but if you did, you'd see a ton of guys that have had 15 to 20 seconds of one of their songs on one episode in season 4 of a show that goes for 15 years, make a long career out of playing conventions for that show. So that you would see that more if you went to other, but you don't need to go to other ones because you're here and we're happy that you're here. Welcome. This is my concert. This is my Q&A. We call it a quancert. Only the new people laughed at that because everyone else has heard it 7,000 times. But I still say it. So if you have a question, feel free to go to the mic, either one, and ask a question. Even if it's, where's the bathroom? I'd know where it is, and I can tell you. But I'll play a couple tunes. When the night is come and the land is dark and the moon is the only light we'll see. No, I won't be afraid. No, I won't be afraid. Just as long as you stand by me. So darling, darling, stand by me. Oh, stand by me. Ooh, stand now. Stand by me. Hear the sky we look upon should tumble and fall, or the mountains should crumble to the sea. I won't cry, no, I won't shed a tear, just as long as you stand by me. So darling, darling, stand by me. Oh, stand by me. Ooh, stand now. Stand by me. If ever you're in trouble, won't you stand by me? Oh, stand by me. Ooh, stand now. Stand by me. Thank you. I wrote that over the pandemic. That's y'all the first people to hear it. Really proud of it. Hi.
Hello.
How are ya?
I'm doing good. How about you?
Not bad. Not bad.
Now I have a very important question.
Okay, I will prepare myself.
This is a life or death question.
Oof.
What are you dressing up as for Halloween?
Tired dad. How about you?
Captain Jack Sparrow.
Mm.
Or should I think I now gotta dress up as you though, you know?
You're also going to be a tired dad?
Yes, I am gonna be a tired dad.
Yeah. Halloween is, it just takes on a whole new meaning with 3 children. You gotta train, you gotta start training for it. Especially, sometimes you lean into the costume and you're like, this will be fun and funny, and then you don't realize that there's parent involvement in it. One time I was the zookeeper, and my daughter was a lion or a tiger or something, and she was in a wheelbarrow? Not a wheelbarrow, a wagon, that's the word I'm looking for. And with other stuffed animals, so that was like the zoo that I was carrying with me. And we trick-or-treated in the neighborhood with the most elevation change I've ever seen in my entire life. And by the end of it, it looked like the zookeeper had gotten eaten by a lion and spit out. So now we have to put a little more thought into our costume. Thank you for your question. Hello.
Hi.
How are you?
Good.
Good.
You're a really good singer.
Oh, thank you.
Like, I sing too, and I'm wondering, how do you get in the biz?
Well, if anybody knows how to make it big in the biz, I'll say this. Work really hard. No, there is an answer that takes 4 years to tell you, but the short version is, you may have to change your definition of in the biz to be in the biz. And there's a million different ways to be in the biz, and I have heard of some people inventing their own ways to be in the biz. So, what aspect of music do you perform?
I like to do, like, I have a band, but they're somewhere else. I miss them. We did one live show, and, you know, it was good and everything. You know, we like rock and roll. Well,
Right on.
Yeah.
You had one band, one show, and then the band split up? I've had bands like that.
No, it was just, I was forced to move away, so, but I'm here, so it's great.
Yeah, well, I'm glad you're here. I'll say this. If you can, someone told me one time, I'm not telling you this, but somebody told me, if you can do anything else, do it. And I only now kind of understand what they mean, because it's tough. You have to be ready to do it either on the side or when you have time for a really long time before you kind of hit a stride with it. And if you can do that and still get enjoyment out of it and love it, then don't ever stop. And you can still be in the biz, you just might be in the biz on weekends, once a month, in a weird city, with your friends on a stage, at a supernatural convention.
I wish.
Thank you for the question. Keep
Thank
playing.
you.
Hello.
Hi,
How are ya?
I'm fine. How are you?
Not bad.
Okay.
Where are you from?
I've come from Italy,
Okay.
and I'm from England originally.
That makes more sense.
Yes. But I do speak Italian as well, so.
I believe you.
What I wanted to say, it's a question, but a plea and a request all in one go, really.
Okay, that's a lot of pressure.
Okay. My question is, if there was any chance in the future that you would consider doing a cover album with Jensen singing rock songs that he's sung at SNS.
Rock songs that his son sings at SNS?
No, that he has sung.
Song. Got it.
Shall I speak in Italian?
No, I'm with you.
Okay.
Yes.
I need it like I need air.
Okay. I'll tell him you said so. No, I love that stuff, and we. For the newbies in the room, if you don't know, I had it's a really long story, but I was going to do a Christmas album, and I just called a bunch of these guys up, and I was like, hey, do you guys want to sing Christmas songs with me in the studio? And they were like, yeah, sure. And then we made a Christmas album, which was super fun. We didn't do it in a studio, we did it in my living room, but then the next one, we did like rock songs, and we did it in a studio. And I've done 2 or 3 of those cover albums since then. And a bunch of these guys, Jensen and Jared and Misha and Rob and Rich and all the guys are on one or multiple albums. And it's been super fun. So it is not beyond the realm of possibility that could happen, but I know that Jensen is currently working on some really awesome original stuff. So I think that while his creative juices are flowing, they should keep flowing in an original direction, and then maybe sometime we'll switch back to doing some cover stuff. But thank you for the question.
Maybe a bit of both.
Maybe.
Yeah. Okay. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Hi.
Hi. Did you just ask a question?
No, my sister did.
That
So,
makes sense.
Yeah. So
She was also born with wings, I see.
Yeah. So my sister and I really love your music, obviously.
Thank you.
And I was wondering, who are some of your biggest inspirations?
Da Vinci, Einstein, Mark Twain. Musically?
Yes.
It's funny, I have different influences for different aspects of music. So when I was growing up, I really, really loved soul music. So, Sam Cooke has my favorite singing voice. And I love, Otis and Marvin and all those guys. And I would say that was probably my influence for like tone and feel. vocally. I'm not saying I sound like those guys, because who could possibly, but they inspired me to want to sing. And then I think, the guys that were playing a lot of music when I started, because I started late. I didn't play music in high school. I sang a little bit in college, but I didn't really start performing with a guitar on stage until my 20s when I moved to LA. So I was very late to the game. But at the time, guys like Jack Johnson and Ben Harper and Ray LaMontagne were playing the kind of music that I really enjoyed and wanted to not imitate, but the kind of songs that inspired me to try to write my own songs. So somewhere in the middle there between all of those people.
Awesome, thanks.
You're welcome. Well, hello there. What's your name?
Amara.
Amara. That's a beautiful name.
She's gonna.
How are you?
Great.
Good. You having fun?
Yeah.
Is this your 15th Supernatural convention?
It's my 4th.
4th? Nice. Have you been coming since you were 7? Since you were 13? You started when you were 20? I get it. Do you have a question for me?
Yeah. What is your favorite story to tell your kids?
That is a very good question. Have you heard about the monster that eats children that don't listen to their parents? I'm just kidding. There's no such thing. I'm just kidding, Amara. But yeah, the story about the monster that eats kids that don't listen to their parents. That's my favorite story to tell my kids. What's your favorite story?
I don't even know.
I appreciate.
About unicorns.
Oh, okay. Stories about unicorns. I like it. I'm trying to think. There was a story about a squirrel that kept getting into trouble. He tends to do things that my kids like to do, and then I make up stories about why the squirrel got in trouble. I like didactic stories, you know what I'm saying. Amara, you win the award for cutest question. Thank you very much.
Hello.
Hi.
So several years back, I was training for my first marathon, and I remember reading about your and some of the cast members running the Seattle Marathon.
Shockingly enough, that's a true story.
So I just was curious what your marathon experience was like, and whether or not you plan on running any more in the future.
I'll start with the second question. No. But the experience was awesome. We did a number of years ago, we did a Tough Mudder, and we had a blast. And, a marathon is kind of one of those bucket list checkmark things. And so we all strangely decided that we would do that. And so we trained, and I don't know how to put this. I'm like a slow-moving locomotive. I'm not going to go very fast, but I'm just going to keep going. So I also weigh about twice as much as some of the other people running the marathon, and so I knew that I had to start training the day we talked about possibly running a marathon. And so I just printed out one of those sheets that's just like run this many miles on these days. and I just hung it up on the wall, and I just said, let's do it. And I had to walk some of it, and I jogged some of it, and then I walked some more of it. But I got to the point where I could finish the runs, but I was slow. I mean, I just plodded along, and I didn't, I felt like even if I really, like if I hired a trainer and a nutritionist, and I quit doing anything other than marathon prep, it was still not going to be very fast. So I just wanted to cross the finish line before they took the finish line down. That was my goal. And I trained at a certain speed, and I ran it at a certain speed. And I didn't hurt myself, and I didn't really even feel that bad the next day. Which some people say means I should have run faster. I don't agree. Because I feel like running it slow and being really sore, or running it really slow and not being sore is kind of this, you just, you know, slow is slow. Did I at any point in that rambling attempt answer any part of your question?
No, you did. I
Okay.
was curious about your experience. I know the training piece is a really long, drawn-out process, but it is a great accomplishment, so congratulations.
Thank you. It was fun. I thoroughly enjoyed trying to work into a conversation every Saturday how many miles I ran that morning. And it could have not had anything to do with any part of the conversation, but I would work it in there because I knew I would never have another chance to say, well, I ran 15 miles this morning, and they were like, I asked you where the bathroom was. And I was like, I know, but I ran 15 miles this morning.
Yeah,
I don't know where the bathroom is, but I ran, did I mention that I ran 15 miles this morning?
Yeah.
So.
Thank you.
Thank you. A heart on the run keeps a hand on the gun. You can't trust anyone. And I was so sure what I needed was more. Tried to shoot out the sun. And days when we raged, we blew off the page. Such damage was done. But I made it through with somebody new. I was meant for someone. So go leave your boots by the bed. We ain't leaving this room. Does someone needs medical help, or the magnolias bloom? It's cold in this house, and I ain't going out to chop wood. So cover me up, I know you're enough to use me for good. I put your faith to the test when I tore off your dress in Richmond all high. And I sobered up, yeah, I swore off that stuff forever this time. In the old lover's scene, I thought it'd be me who helped him get home. But home was a place, one that I'd never seen till you came along. So girl, hang your dress up to dry. We ain't leaving this room. To passy priest, break open wide and the river runs through. carries this house on a stone like a piece of driftwood. So cover me up, I know you're enough to use me for good. So go leave your boots by the bed, we ain't leaving this room till someone needs medical help or the magnolias bloom. It's cold in this house and I ain't going out to chop wood. So cover me up, I know you're enough to use me for good. You cover me up, I know you're enough to use me for good. You cover me up, I know you're enough to use me for good. Thank you. Hello.
Hi.
How are ya?
Good.
Good. Are you having fun?
Yeah.
What's your name?
Briella.
Briella. It's a lovely name.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Do you have a question?
Yes.
Okay. Let me have it.
What is a good way to figure out how to write a song?
Well, what is your favorite thing to do?
I like to go outside.
You like to go outside. Do you play any instruments yet?
I don't know
You do?
how to answer this question. I'm like, I do, but I also don't, so I don't know.
That makes perfect sense to me. I would say this. When I first started writing songs, I would write them about things that I loved, and I played guitar a little bit, but I also didn't really play guitar, so I was right there with you on that. And I would take a piece of paper and I would write down all of the things that came to my mind about the subject that I was writing the song about. And they didn't rhyme, and they didn't go together, and they didn't make a whole lot of sense if you read them in a row. But I would just make little details about what I loved. And then I would go back and I would try to find pieces of those details that maybe made sense together, or rhymed, or sounded cool. And I would put them together. So then I had kind of longer pieces. And then I would try to think what makes sense to start talking about in the first verse, and then to start talking about in the second verse, and then maybe to start talking about in the third verse. And in the midst of trying to write all that stuff together, whatever part sounded the best, I would call the chorus, and that's the part that I would repeat in between the other parts of the song that hopefully made sense, but it doesn't really matter if they do make sense or don't make sense, because people will think they make sense because it's a song. And there you have it.
Thanks.
You're welcome.
Thumbs up.
Hello.
Hi, Jason. How are you?
Good. How are you?
I'm good, thanks. I had a question. You kind of touched on it earlier about the Christmas album that you did with the cast, and I was wondering, what was it like herding cats, or like did it go well?
So you have done an album with them before. They are not like cats once they're in the studio, but getting them in the studio is a comedy of errors. And they weren't even as busy then as they all are now, and it was still really difficult. And for Jensen and Jared, I chased them down on set. And so I went up to Vancouver. Have you ever been to Vancouver? And and I would go on the set, and they had a sound truck, and they were kind enough to let us use the sound truck. So I did all the music stuff beforehand, you know, built the track, and then brought the track with me up to Vancouver, and like between takes on set, we went in the sound truck and recorded for, you know, 4 or 5, 10 minutes, and then be like, we need you on set. So we'd say, all right, well, we'll stop there for now, I guess. He'd go film a scene, and then he'd come back. Okay, I'm ready. I'm like, no, not Dean voice. Nope, you gotta switch back. Switch the switch. So yeah, it was super fun.
Sorry, follow. Did you have to coach any of them on how to record a song?
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah, I mean, but like, you know, Beyonce has a producer, so I mean, it's not like I was like teaching them how to sing in the you know, booth, but you as a producer, you always try to elicit the best performance you can. And sometimes you don't know what the best is. Sometimes you're like, well, try it this way, or try it that way, or try it a little more raspy, or a little higher, or let's, you know, try different stuff. And then sometimes you find something that sounds really cool and works really well for the track. So yeah, I mean, I coached them, but that's just part of producing vocals. You know, you kind of have to try some stuff.
Thank you very much.
You're very welcome. If anyone, by the way, has a request that they were just like, I wonder what that guy would sound like singing that song, don't say it. Just kidding. What I was gonna say is, I do these things, like everybody's got their meet and greets. I have a meet and greet, but it's called the Man's Cave, and it's really just a concert. So if anybody, and I'll bring, you know, I'll like look stuff up and try it in that meet and greet. Try to sing whatever random song that I maybe won't try on stage in front of 100 people that have never seen me play before, because they'll be like, oh, you played 2 songs that were really good, and then, I don't know, and then the wheels fell off. It was awful. I want my money back. So I won't do it on this stage, but if you go to the Man's Cave, I think they have tickets at registration or wherever, and we've got one today and one tomorrow. So join me if you would like. Hi.
Hi, welcome back to Vancouver.
Thank you so much.
My question is, oh, and by the way, I think you've got a great tone, and I think I'd like to hear you sing Simple Man.
Thank you.
That's not my question. My question is...
It's a good question, though. I'll tell you what, I've got this thing called a Man's Cave. And if you come to that, I will sing Simple Man for you.
Cool, sounds cool. Awesome. My question is, if your agent called and said, I've got the role of a lifetime for you, what would that look like? Like, what genre of music or movie would that be, or television series, and who would be in it with you?
Well, if my agent called me and said, I've got the role of a lifetime for you, I'd say, who are you? I don't have an agent. And I'm not an actor. Have you taken your meds today? No, I'm just kidding. I would, I don't know. I mean, like, if I'm answering your question honestly, I would say the stuff that I watch on TV where I'm like, if I were ever to like pick the role that I'd want to play, I would want to be like the slightly jaded older person who's like over it, but still trucking, like kind of, you know, like the Bobby, or like, you know, you guys ever seen that show Longmire? It's like a sheriff in like a podunk town, and he's just over it. but he's got to be the sheriff. You know, that kind of thing. Like, yeah, the guy that just calls people idiots all the time. I'm just kidding. That's not you guys. You know what I'm saying.
Other language
Does that make sense?
Sure.
That's a
Who
no,
would be
but
your
I'll take
co-star? Who would be your co-star?
it. You. Everyone in the room. Big cast. No, I don't know. I mean, just, yeah, my friends. It would be the entire cast of Supernatural on a show. It's Supernatural. It would be Supernatural and there'd be two Bobbies. That'd be Bobby's son.
Cool. Thank you.
You're welcome. I'm going to call my agent. Hi.
Hi, my question is, what genre of music that you just have never listened to, and then you heard a song from it, and you just like had to play it over and over again?
Polka. Had to play it over and over again?
It just you had to listen to it again because
Oh, had to like hit repeat on the.
because it just moved you so much, or the lyrics, or just the melody.
That's a good question. I don't know. There were a lot of twists and turns because it was like song, genre you don't like or listen to, song from that genre that you did like and played over and over and over again. There was a lot of addendums to the song in question, and a couple of those addendums may have knocked me out of the running. But it was a very good question. Do you have an answer?
Well, it got me into classical music, Pachelbel's Canon in D.
Okay. Well done. It's a good answer. I should have said Beethoven or something. Yeah. I'm questioning all my life choices now. It's a good question, though.
Well, you could always try Viking metal. That might be something you could try.
Heavy metal?
Viking metal.
Viking?
Viking heavy metal.
I may have just discovered the new love of my life. We'll see. I will Google Viking heavy metal. And if you come to Man's Cave today, thank you for the question.
Thank you.
Hi.
Hi. I have a question about when you produced like Brianna's album and Gil and Rich. How did you decide on choice or song choices? Did they come up to you and were like, I want to do a country album, I want to do something with a little more jazz feel? Or did you guys discuss it? How was that decided?
Each project is unique. And for Brianna's, I remember having that conversation. And I remember saying, I want to work with you on a record, and I want to get you in the studio and get recording and make music. But I don't want to pick the genre. Like, I don't want to be the guy that's like, we're going to make you a blues singer, you know? Like, I want you to know what you want. And so for her record specifically, we had kind of a general lane, but we really tried to do a couple different kinds of songs. Like, we leaned a little bit into rock, a little bit into blues, a little bit into some other genres. We tried to make it cohesive so it didn't sound like a, compilation. But really the goal for that was to try out a bunch of different things and find out what worked, what she liked, and what she felt comfortable in. For Gil, we knew exactly what Gil wanted. He was, real specific about, he had a couple songs that he knew he wanted to do, and so I went and found some other songs that were in that genre and, played them for him, and we kind of collaborated on the set list for that. And kind of the same thing for Rich. Like, we knew Rich was going to do a country album. Rich had a really specific style and vibe of country that he loved, like the Nashville, rock influenced kind of underground country from the scene that he learned to love music in. So we did that for his record too. We kind of took some covers, shaped them into something that fit that vibe. That was kind of how we decided.
Thank you very much.
You're welcome. Hello.
Hi. My husband is a huge fan of your Christmas album. And
Well, let me tell you something. I am a huge fan of your husband.
he would say likewise, and he would want to take you out for beers.
Perfect.
So I guess that's into the second
It's a
part.
date.
Oh, okay, excellent. He'll love that. Do you have another Christmas album in the works?
No.
But please?
Maybe.
Okay.
No, I did a crowdfunding pre-pandemic. I did a crowdfunding for another Christmas album, and then in the middle of the pandemic, I was like, I'm not gonna get these guys into the studio for years.
So you spent all the money?
I did. I had a party, and it was awesome. No, just kidding. We did a Quarantunes album where I took a bunch of stuff that I had recorded and kind of earmarked for other projects, and I put them all together. And you will find, strangely, just coincidentally, that most of the people who are singing on the Quarantunes album, by chance, happen to be my friends who have studios in their home. Coincidence? Maybe. Billy has a lovely song on the Quarantunes record. You get to hear his wonderful voice. But yeah, that's how that went.
Well, I'm asking for my husband, who's not here, but he would ask, what is your favorite beer?
Favorite beer? Can I be totally honest with you?
You don't drink beer.
I don't drink beer.
He drinks martinis.
No, I don't. No, I don't, just for some reason beer doesn't like me, so I don't like it back. But I like wine or whiskey or scotch.
Oh yeah, he'll do all of those.
Okay, perfect.
I like your husband.
Thank you.
Thank you for the question. Hello, fellas.
Hi. There's one lady over here. Let's not leave. Come up, roll on up.
Yeah. How? Are you up here? Come on. Yeah.
No. I mean, ask your question is what I'm saying.
Oh, she said roll on up.
I know.
was like,
I'm sorry.
Come on. Hi.
Hi. I was going to ask, what are your two favorite songs from Covers with Friends and Recovering with Friends?
2 songs from each record. Do you expect me to remember?
favorite one from each.
I think my favorite from Covers with Friends is, I mean, I hate to say it because it's been sung 57,000 times, but Wagon Wheel, because of the harmonies, they were so fun. And I just want you to know, I put that song on that record before Darius Rucker decided that he wanted to put that song in everyone's brain for the rest of their lives. So, what's that? Oh, thank you so much. Unfortunately, millions of people disagree. And what was the other one?
Favorite one from the other one.
Quarantunes?
Recovering with Friends.
Yeah.
What's your favorite?
Which one is which? I like,
That's my favorite too.
Wait, Funk 49, right?
Yep, that's my favorite. Which one?
Wait, I forgot which one is which. Hold
That's
on.
it. That's exactly my favorite.
Hold on. Funk 49.
Oh yeah, that's my favorite. Was that on that record? That's my favorite. Thank you for the question.
Ladies and gentlemen, Jason Mans! we have reached the halfway point of the day, almost, kind of. So we're gonna have a little break. So all of you can go and pee, or whatever you want to do.
Refill our beverages.
Eat dinner, or have a drink. And warm up for the second half of the day, where we're gonna see the likes of myself and David Hayden Jones. Kim and Brianna. It's gonna be awesome. And then, of course, we have karaoke later tonight. So, relax, take a breather, and we'll see you in half an hour.